So by now, everybody or mostly everybody has seen the video with the interaction between the Frontier Airlines employee and a passenger who was trying to get on the flight to get home from a business trip. Just in case you don't know about it or to kind of reacclimate you to the situation, we're going to watch this news clip. And then I have a different take on this video as to maybe the true reason why this whole interaction happened. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. When you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Let's hit it.
All right, seemingly taunting a traveler here. Frontier Airlines employees caught on camera mocking a man trying to check in late for his flight at RDU. This incident happened as the man was trying to get home to Boston, and this video is going viral. WRAL's Monica Casey has been looking into what happened, joining us now live from the airport. Monica, we of course only see the part of the story that's recorded. What else are you learning about what happened here?
That's right, Lena. What we know right now is that this interaction happened at this ticket counter here behind me last Friday morning. We now know RDU police had to get involved to de-escalate the situation here. There were no arrests in this case, but there were consequences for those employees.
Hey, we'll pay the $25. And you thought you were going to get on your flight. This viral video shows the moment two people working at Frontier Airlines ticket desk refuse to check in a passenger.
And now you see how the lady in the back who's not in uniform, not sure who she is, like an older lady, looks like she's trying to calm this mess down, but yet for some reason nowadays you can't tell young kids nothing. But back in the day, old folk try to tell you something and listen, they just, what I'm saying, pop you in the mouth one good time. You're gonna embarrass me in public, I'm gonna embarrass you in public. That's how it went. But nowadays you do that, they either want to fight back or you'll get sued. So it's like, I'm just gonna keep walking.
For my flight, and they're not letting me check in. And you're not getting on your flight. They're not letting me check in. Frontier Airlines ticket desk refused to check in a passenger. For my flight, and they're not letting me check in. And you're not getting on your flight. RDU police had to get involved, but the situation de-escalated after about 15 minutes.
They didn't remain calm. He was frustrated.
Gary Left, the founder of travel site View from the Wing, spoke to that passenger about his experience. The man had booked his Frontier ticket through a third-party site, not knowing he had to check in an hour ahead of time. Printing his boarding pass was going to cost him $25.
It just was a you've got to be kidding me kind of moment.
Frontier's policy requires you to check in an hour before your flight, and if you need to be checked in by an agent, it's an extra fee. Delta requires check-in 30 minutes before a flight if you're not checking bags, and United has the same requirement. American requires you to check in 45 minutes before, with or without bags. Some airports also have different time requirements, another policy to check. Left told me Frontier's policy of charging for a boarding pass at the counter is unusual in the U.S., but part of their business model.
So it seems like the fella didn't know exactly what Frontier's policy was. Maybe he had flown on different planes before, different airlines before. But regardless, to me personally, I'm not a frequent flyer. I don't do business trips, barely do family pleasure trips. But I watch the news enough and talk to people who fly enough to know that it's probably in your best interest to check in ASAP. When you get like your flight confirmation, and if you can check in on your phone, on the app on your phone, then you need to do it. A lot of airlines allow you to start like 24 hours before your flight. Hell, you can get a rental car. I get rental cars frequently, and it's like you can, once you reserve and it gets close to, well, when you reserve it, you can go ahead and check in, put all your information in before you get the car. So when you get there, all you gotta do is just say, I'm here for my car. Say, okay, fine, boom, they go out there and get it, and you're done. So I'm quite sure it's probably the same thing when it comes to boarding the flight. Yeah, but for him to wait for the last minute to try to board, I guess he tried to go in and use the kiosk. But then again, how'd you get a ticket in the first place? So I guess he's gonna say, I wait till I get there. It's Frontier. It ain't nobody. I'm gonna go in and do it. And messed around and had to ended up. It was too late, so we had to pay a fee. But I mean, you got to think about it as the way security is nowadays when it comes to these airlines and stuff. The sooner you check in, the better, man. The earlier you get there, the better. Don't wait till the last minute because you can always things can always go awry, as they say.
Right? They want to incentivize passengers to do the thing that is least costly to them, that entails the lowest labor cost, the least amount of staff time.
And also when you fly these budget, I'm gonna say like budget airlines like Frontier, JetBlue, who else? The other one, Spirit. The ticket is cheap, but then they get you for extra fees when you like carry on baggage or like Frontier charging you if you got to talk to an employee who was already there in the first place. So it's almost like, I mean, are they getting paid commission? I don't understand why you have to pay an extra fee to talk to an employee who's already there to talk to people. Anyway, yeah, these budget airlines, they charge low fee, like low. If you just gonna fly in, you ain't got no bags, or you just got a backpack in and out. These airlines, they're convenient for everybody. But people fly these airlines to take long trips because they're cheaper to fly. But yet you gotta make sure that you don't bring on a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Here, you might as well just go and get Delta or Southwest, pay the 400, 450, whatever it is, and just go on and deal with that. Bring your one bag and keep it moving, man. But I'm not saying don't fly these airlines because was it Spirit that was like the airline of the year? Shocked the hell out of everybody.
Frontier tells us the two women in that video were employed by a third-party contractor and they are no longer affiliated with the Frontier account. Live at RDU, Monica Casey, WREL News.
And the third party, someone they was employed by a third party entity. I want y'all to understand and realize and pay attention that a lot of these jobs now are not directly starting to not directly employ people. They're using outside companies. Like, back in the day when one of my first jobs as an adult was at a warehouse. And I look, you had to read the paper looking for a job, and they put out that there was a warehouse job paying like I think $8 or $10 an hour, which was a lot of money back then. And so I said, oh, and it said, come down to this place to apply. So I went downtown to go apply for a job, not knowing it was a temporary engine, a temp service. Didn't know that. Didn't realize till I got there. I'm like, man, I almost turned around, but I said, man, let me just go here. I'm here. Let me go ahead and fill out the application. Fill out the application. Next thing you know, within the next few days, boom, 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 I had a full-time job working at a warehouse, making eight to $10 an hour, decent money, able to pay bills or what have you. But looking back at it now, that was kind of like the precursor to what's going on now, to where companies just hire people, and you still see it online where they're hiring people to work at jobs and they're not directly, let's say like this here, not directly employed by Frontier. What that does is it keeps Frontier from having to pay benefits or insurance. So if those employees want to insurance or benefits, they got to get them like through the third party company, and that third party company is going to charge probably a little extra. It'll cost a little more to have insurance through them if you want it. So a lot of times, the people that you see working don't have insurance, and that's what these big companies are doing because they don't want to hire nobody. They don't want the liability. So, like in this case, something happens. It's like you can't sue or go after Frontier, go after the people who hired these people and sent them to Frontier. So they probably still got it's probably but I guess the benefit of it when you got silly people like this, they still got a job. They still got an employer. Most likely, it's just going to move them from one place to another. But now that this video is viral, it may be harder, or they may try to take a chance, or maybe afraid to take a chance to put them somewhere and be seen, and then and everything goes off the rails or what have you. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I want to say is the reason why people like this young lady or the two young ladies in this video, one of the reasons why I figured out why they act the way they do is because a lot of people don't have goals or dreams or plans in life beyond what they're doing today. Let me explain. I myself, like I said, had a warehouse job and I did it for about 10 years. The first a year or two I was working there, I was actually going to school. I don't think I was going to school that long. But I was going for a business degree. But then my little fool self, with that not, saying not going, talking to a counselor or an advisor saying, hey, what's the benefit of this business degree? Because all I thought was, I'm gonna get this business degree and I'm gonna be working at JC Penney's. I'm not gonna do that I'm not gonna go working at JC Penney's. So I dropped out of school. Megs kept going to school. She was in nursing. I'm gonna let her get her degree. Then by that time I figured out what I wanted. That was the dumbest move in my life. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. As time went on and I'm working at this warehouse job, now it's like, I don't want to say a state of depression, but it's almost like you feel like you're going nowhere. Because I started to see people in their, I knew two people that died. One was in his 30s, one was in his 40s at two different times. And they're working at these warehouses, get sick, they be out for some weeks. They came back looking bad. No, lost a lot of weight, not moving, not the same energy that they had before. And then next thing you know, within a month or so, they both passed away. I saw people who was there in their 50s and 60s, should be retired or almost retired, still riding that forklift, still pulling orders. And I'm like, man, dang, I said, God, I can't be doing this at that age. And then I saw another guy I saw a qualified black dude get passed over for a dock supervisor job for somebody who was in the office, who they said had a warehouse job for like good hot minute and then went back in the office because he couldn't take it. I saw another brother who was in managerial position who tried to get a promotion because the position came open, and he got passed over for somebody else who was not a brother, but they gave him a different job, and it was like they called it like a lateral move. I'm like, a lateral move, and I'm looking at him like, this here is like, this is disrespectful. But then he ended up he had been there for like 20 something years, and he ended up actually leaving and going somewhere else. I'm like, man, you know what? If he can leave and go somewhere else, because that means I know ain't nothing here for me. It's time for me to do something. So that's when I started taking serious about going back to school, ended up getting into nursing school, and the rest is history. But my point, like I said, what I was saying is while I was working there, I just did not like getting up in the morning. I had no plan, didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I don't want to say depression, but it was like, it's like dead end. Like the commercials would say, a dead end job. So I said, I'm not gonna do this. I got children, you know what I'm saying, got family, whatever, and they depended on me, and I got to get out here and make this bread. I can't sit here and just die in this warehouse and not try to do nothing. A lot of people had been there for a long time, but they was getting ready to retire. They had like retirement plans and stuff like that. So they were there at the right time. But at my time getting there, it wasn't those benefits and stuff wasn't there like it was for them. These young ladies here, like now, and I tell a lot of young ladies or people, I work with a lot of young ladies, like PCTs and nurses aides and stuff. You don't want to be doing this for the rest of your life. You just don't. And I know, like when I go to work, or we used to go to work, and then like getting up in the morning to go to work, one thing that motivated me and pushed me was I had a plan. I had a plan to go to nursing school. I had a plan to get this degree. I had a plan. I said, this is what I'm going to do. And so I'm going to do it. So we had a warehouse job. And then the next semester, I had to take certain classes, and the class on offer at a certain time. So I take them classes. So if the job I was at wouldn't accommodate those classes, I have to go and find another job. That was just it. that's how I did it. It's like you got people now getting mad at a job and want to quit because supervisor pissed them off, or whatever the case may be. No, I quit a job because I'm trying to move forward to do something else. And I do this lateral going back and forth crap because no matter where you go in the medical field, I know you're gonna come across the same people dealing with the same stuff. And if you are a problem, you're gonna bring your problems over to them also. So my thing is get a plan. I tell people all the time, go to school. Anytime I'm working with somebody, anytime I'm finna put my 2 week notice in, I'm gonna go work over here. First thing I tell them, man, go to school. Go back to school. You got to, because me working in nursing, when I got my nursing degree, I said back then I was only gonna do bedside 5 years, but that's if I would have went to the hospital. But because I got into work, the field I'm in, and I enjoyed it like a dummy, I sat back and said, I ain't going back to school. For what? I can do this. I enjoy this. But as these years have passed, I've been doing what, a little over 7 years. I got to the point is to where I'm like, I can't do this forever. I can't work bedside, church side, whatever you want to call it, forever. You know what I'm saying? Back be hurting. You know what I'm saying? Knees be hurting. Get up early in the morning, be tired, dragging, feet be hurting. Not gonna do this forever. I said, well, I'm gonna do what I said I was never gonna do, and I'm going back to school. That's why I say never, because you never know. There are like 3 things I said I would never do back in the day. One was go work. I said work for the government, work corporate, get remarried. I think those are the 3, and did all 3 of them at some time in my life. Did all 3 of them. So don't never say never. But and I also say I'd never go back to school too, and that's what I'm about to do anyway. Go back to school, because that corporate life, what I'm trying to do is, because going to different companies, yeah, you get paid more. When you move around, try to maximize your dollars, which is what you're supposed to do. But it's gonna come to a time where you're gonna max out in the position that you're in, and you have no choice but to either sit there and take it, or go and do something different, or try to move up and go corporate, which is the goal that I have. And I feel, and with that goal and putting it into place, it makes it easier to get up and go to work every day and do what I need to do and deal with people or situations that I could deem, I could say I'm tired of, or go through and seem like things are not changing. It gives me motivation to get up and go to work, because it's a means to an end. You feel what I'm saying? But when you got jobs like this, and I don't know these girls' situation, what I'm telling you is most of the time, I think most of the time, this is the reason why people have these attitudes at work. Quick to cuss people out, quick to get mad. I don't work at a place for about 2 years, about 2 years now, a little over 2 years now. And I got people that quit, then they come back. They quit, and then they come back. They go PRN, you don't see them for a long time, and then they come back. And every time they leave, they complaining about what's going on, and they leave. And next thing you know, they done got hired back. That's nursing home 101. So I mean, that's just what people do, what people go through. And I'm like, dang, if these people actually had a plan outside of just doing this CNA, saying nurse aide, PCT job, and implement it, take that chance. Because let me tell you like this: everybody, and I mean everybody, will get an opportunity to advance in some form or fashion. It may be in the field that you're in, it may not be in the field that you're in, but everybody's going to get that opportunity. And when that opportunity comes, it's up to you to take advantage. Some people may get more opportunities than others. It just depends on where you at in life. If you ain't got no schooling, ain't too many opportunities gonna come your way, but something can come your way. Take the risk, take a chance, and go and jump at it. If you got a lot of schooling, or if you got connections, you'll probably get more opportunities to do things to advance your life. Regardless, you jump on them and you take the chance. It may work out, it may not work out, but what they say, if you don't fail, you ain't tried. You know what I'm saying? When you go through life, you gotta fail. It's just part of life. No one has succeeded in everything that they do. But the key is to keep moving forward in life. That's the key. You are working at you working at Frontier Airlines as a ticket taker or whatever, but you're not working for a Frontier, you're working for a third party. Yeah, maybe you should be trying to work for a Frontier. You know what I'm saying? Actually getting the application and working for an airline directly so you can get those benefits. Then maybe you should probably they look young, so maybe you might think about being in a flight attendant or go to school to be an air traffic controller. You in the place to where you can learn about that stuff and move up and get it done. That's your opportunity right there to see the world, to do something more in life. But if you just gonna be working at this counter and somebody says something that you don't like, I think he said something, I'm never gonna fly this crappy tail, and I'm saying it, nicely, this crappy tail airline again because they was charging them that money. Then she was like, oh, well, I'm not finna put you on board. And you thought you were getting your flight. And they're going back and forth. And he's like, look, man, I'm here. I said, you just about to board me. Well, you're not finna get on the air, man. You gotta watch the video. It's like, it's all silliness on from both parties. But the thing about it, in the end, he got home on a different airline. He got a refund from Frontier and an apology. Them two got fired. Anywho, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below. Share it with the world. Let's have intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you'd like to support the channel financially, you can get a super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you can go to the description box. There are a couple of links on there you can click on to help support us that way. Now, if you like something tangible for your dollars, which a lot of people do, go to marlonmorale.com, or you can hit our Shopify store, or you can just simply hit the shop button below this video and check out all our luxury products. We have fragrances that last all day. We got silk products, we got beard kits, handbags, and much more. Check it out. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.